Welcome to the Executive Outlook. Today, we are joined by an engineer, architect, and a founder of DQOps. His focus is simple: make data trustworthy at scale through practical rules, business ready dashboards, and observability. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much for joining. So, I'm very excited to know that what inspired you to found the company DQOps and what made you choose the data quality part.
So I exited my previous startup a few years ago. I moved into consulting. I was leading a big data quality project where my team designed a data quality platform from scratch for a customer. And during that project, we realized that we can build a product based on our finding. So in parallel to consulting work, we started building DQOps as a better and improved version of the solution that we created as a fixed price project.
You mentioned you were into consulting and creating your own product. How it is helpful in having a product and the consulting services. So, what do you see as an advantage to?
Yes, it's a big advantage because it's a factor that many customers can take into account because you are bringing both a solution and how to apply data quality. Many teams are quite early in their data quality journey and they need supervision, they need training. That's how we can close this gap.
And you have worked with many companies. So, what is the biggest challenge that you have faced while you are helping the organization and how you have overcome those challenges?
So typically the challenge is lack of data owners, people responsible for data quality from the business perspective. Because if only data engineers are interested in data quality, then those implementations are very shallow. They just implement the most basic data quality checks that detect corrupted data, such as data in a wrong format, but they don't move into the next stage of testing the data for business value. If a customer has a dedicated business user, those business users are not quite experienced in data quality, or sometimes they are not technical enough to know how to design data quality checks. So those companies that actually can do it, they need to be aware of splitting the roles of data quality into technical data quality specialists, people who know how to set up data quality, and business specialists who actually understand their data and know when the data is invalid. Without this separation, it's quite hard to provide a real business value.
How they can measure this impact of bad data and how they can improve these things?
I typically ask customers of their biggest data quality issues that actually impacted the business, because you want to fix that issue and avoid that similar issues impact the business again. So if there is an impact already measured, then the path to implementing data quality is quite short, because everybody knows how costly was previous data quality.
Okay. And what are the first three signs we need to monitor in order to catch the bad data early?
Typically, we can focus on the most important data quality dimensions, such as completeness or timeliness. Some of them will tell us more about the data quality. If the data is valid, such as too many missing values, or values in a wrong format, so they are not usable. And the other aspect is purely data reliability for monitoring how smoothly the data is ingested. So if the issues are caused by a very complex data processing and transformation process, then you should focus on observability and on monitoring data timeliness, monitoring data pipelines for issues, monitoring for schema changes. Otherwise, you should just focus on business value, ask users what errors they have seen, and then you design data quality checks that are detecting them. That's how we can find the values, the problems, and show the impact to the business.
Okay. And can you share some of the examples that after fixing the data quality, it has created the real impact in the business?
So if you ensure that data timeliness is smooth, there are no delays, then the business can actually decide to act on data much earlier. If you know that the data from the previous day is always loaded at 10 a.m., not later, then the data engineers can build processes that will generate some actionable results in the morning, like at 11 a.m. If you cannot ensure that data is fixed by the morning, then you have to wait one more day, which will cost you 1 day of delay. The biggest, I think, impact that you can instantly see in an organization, shorten the time to usable data. Other issues will just impact the business processes that some values were missing. It was not possible to take action.
So, how AI is helping data quality today?
The most common usage for AI is to apply anomaly detection, to observe the behavior of data, such as data freshness, so how old was the data every day, the data volume, so how much data was received, or some distribution metrics, such as the number of duplicate values or unique values. If you apply AI on historical data, AI is pretty clever and can detect anomalies and unexpected situations, such as the data was growing by 10,000 records every day, but you have a day when there was a drop. AI can figure it out pretty easily without the need to design dedicated data quality checks. The other option is for rule mining. So let AI look at your data and propose data quality checks that will most likely detect some issues. And the third group is now used by many vendors, is just to conversational AI, some tool like implement chat in the product that you can ask the tool to find tables or columns that are impacted by some issues. But still, to find those tables and columns, you need to set up data quality checks, because those tools will just tell you which table has a low data quality score. At the moment, it's not for companies that have billions of records. It's too costly just to send every record to AI and pay for every prompt asking whether this record is correct or not. I have never seen a customer who tried to send more than a few thousand records to AI validation.
Thank you so much for sharing. So, what mindset or habits should the leaders have while they are building the data quality and governance in place?
In general, they need to have some technical knowledge, but their mindset should be focused on continuous improvement. So they shouldn't focus on fixing problems in a reactive way. Of course, very important in the early stage of data quality, where you set up the whole process. They must focus on root cause analysis to analyze the reasons. And you can, for example, use data quality KPIs to score tables or data sources by KPI to identify those tables that are less reliable, that are impacted by issues more often. If a manager who has this mindset of focusing on constant improvement can look for those data sets, can ask the data set owners to perform a deeper research for the causes of those issues to improve those problems and to avoid that those problems ever happen again. This mindset, focus on constant improvement, is critical. Otherwise, the team will be just, when they implement data quality tool for monitoring, they will be buried in a lot of data quality incidents reported by the tool. The same incidents every time.
So, last question I want to ask that, people sometimes are not aware there are the red flags within the business. So, how to identify the red flags?
You need a process that who can test data quality, can communicate the errors, and maybe provide some sort of data quality reports to the business users. Because the red flags mostly come from the lack of visibility. Business users will not look into the data. But if they are shown a list of issues with priorities as a report, for each issue, maybe the team managed to assess the impact, the business will act. They will know that this is a red flag. This is a problem that we have to figure because it happens too often. We already were impacted by this issue. Maybe a team has spent another week fixing some solution. So that's 1 week of work, maybe for a whole team, lost on just fixing a problem that should never be there. So this is the typical red flags. The business should just see them through reports, dashboards, or some data quality assessments that are performed and shared with business sponsors.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing the insights and the real examples. It's been a pleasure having you on the executive.
Thank you for the invitation.